share it out here to go hot. It's like sinfully hot out there.
All right, we're going with the audio.
Customary. Trying to get a low Facebook.
Okay, whenever you get ready.
All right.
Facebook's looking.
I can see video.
Wife says, "Look at that again."
Yeah. It's a good thing we're not doing open heart surgery.
All right, they can hear you.
Okay, the mics is on.
That's what the rubber band's about to get and wrap it around there, around your phone.
Okay, I'm ready. You ready? Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
you're on.
All right. Good evening. This is Tyrone Gathers Jr. on the Source of the Inkwell, live on KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, Kansas City's global community radio station. You can listen to this broadcast in a number of different ways. You can listen to us audio wise on kuaw.org or on the TuneIn app on your phone. You can also view this broadcast by going to KUAW/LPFM 98.5 on Facebook, or you can go to the YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, type in KUAW, and we should pop right up. You can also email us your comments, questions, or concerns at KUAW98email.com, or you can give us a phone call at 816-599-6893. This is another stop on my summer vacation of Black-owned businesses. Today, I brought a familiar face in, and you all should know who this young lady is. You're like almost every day on Facebook, whether it's saying something inspirational or rooting for her children when it comes to sports. Nafisa, how you doing?
Pretty good. And yourself?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm just just weather going on right now. But other than that, we're doing all right.
Right.
It's always chilled in the Inkwell.
Of course.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now, tell us about your business. First of all, tell us the name of your business.
The name of the business is Prospect Focus Recruiting.
Prospect Focus Recruiting. Now, tell us what Prospect Focus Recruiting does.
What we do is basically we take unsigned high school athletes by means of highlight film. We also get them prepared for college, ACT, SAT prep. We have tutors. We also have trainers, and
Wow.
nutritionists.
Oh, okay. Now that's something different. I've never heard of anything like that. Well, on a professional or college level, but you're doing this for high school students.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So what made you do this?
Well, as many people know, my daughter is in high school.
Okay.
I noticed that a lot of times we, as parents, we leave it in the hands of high school, and we leave it in the hands of AAU coaches. And so we have to take a more hands-on approach, and that's what I wanted to do with my daughter. I started creating highlight films. As you can see, the AAU. Familiar with the ins and outs of the college process as far as scholarships are concerned, what it takes to get your child senior in college. And so I wanted to share my knowledge with parents.
Yeah, you made a good point. You said that a lot of parents rely on XYZ. They rely on this person, they rely on that person instead of equipping themselves with the tools to get their child noticed.
Right.
Because I've noticed it's no in between. On one end, if it's total 100% trust in the school entity or the coaching entity, they get a lot of hits. Okay, a lot of people see their videos. They go to all these camps. Or on the other side, you might have that great athlete, but their recruiting system might be kind of sorry, and they don't get seen. Because that was one particular student that I taught. He was a smaller kid, but he was definitely D1 caliber. But his school didn't push him to those D1 schools. So my question is, does your business, like, not only does it work with families, does it also educate families in the process too?
Yes,
Okay.
that we do. Right now I'm in the process of getting NCAA certified. That'll happen in December.
Wow.
Where you go through the process of knowing the rules as far as the recruiting rules are concerned. And so with that, the knowledge that I have, I transfer it to the parents as well. So it's not a system or it's not a business where I keep all the knowledge and I keep you in the dark as far as what I'm doing. I'm going to get the knowledge and I'm going to pass it on to you, but I'm also going to help you, because there is an expertise in that area, in that field as well. And a lot of the things that I do is time consuming. And I know that a lot of parents don't have that, a lot of time. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to build upon that and help your child get recruited.
Now, you said a key word, helping the child. Because when it all comes down to it, the goal I know your goal, because I've been knowing you for a minute. It's a couple of years, but it seems like it's been longer than that because you just got a real cool spirit about yourself. Maybe, I don't know, another lifetime or something like that. Maybe in ancient Egypt or Wild West. I don't know. Possibly, one of them. Possibly. Yeah. He's probably there. But you said helping the children. All right. The focus is getting the kid to become a college athlete, to possibly becoming a pro athlete. Right. I know you live that, you breathe that, you bleed that. Now, do you see that what you're doing with your business, with Prospect Focus, is it doing what some schools, I'm not going to say all, but what some schools and what some coaching staff should be doing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. To be honest with you, because I'm a coach, because you have, if you're just talking varsity, you have 10 to 12 players on your team. So you look at the time that's required, filming, training, doing the highlights, working on nutrition, things of that nature. The time that it takes for one, then you got to multiply that, times 12. And that's just for your varsity, because then you have to implement JV, things of that nature. So just a coach alone, that's a big responsibility. That's a lot of time, that it takes, but however, I'm willing to invest that time. Yeah. I've invested the time in my children, of course. Yeah. I do more than what your average parent does or whatever. Some say it's overkill. Some say it's too much. However, as a college athlete, I wish my mom had the tools. I wish she knew what I knew to get me, to a different level in the sport. I wish what you were doing was back when we were in school, because there's someone here right now who played basketball. I ran track. I would have loved to have had that. Right. And see, that's why, I like having you here, because I can be real with you, because this next question kind of compounds on what I just asked, because I see, and I feel I can be, we can be real in the Inkwell. Okay. Let's be real. Let's be real. Like I said, I've been knowing you for a couple lifetimes. Right. This brother over here, I've been knowing for a minute. So a long minute. Mr. Walker, I've been knowing him for a while too. I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. One thing that I'm noticing in our system is we got a lot of pimps and hustlers around our children. Okay. Right. And I say that because in these school systems, you have individuals pimping our kids for money. Instead of getting these baby scholarships, they're using them to sell tickets. Okay. They're using them to sell to get money to get arenas. Okay. They're hustling these parents and they're thinking one thing, but really they're delivering something else. And I'm seeing that a lot, especially with our children. One thing that I'm seeing, I'm just going to just flat out say it. The World Cup is on right now, right? Right. And someone made a comment and they said that there's two African teams, Senegal and France. And people didn't get that. You have a lot of European countries that come in to African countries and take
these stellar African athletes after these teams. Therefore, you don't have a lot of strong African soccer teams. What I'm seeing in the IL and what I'm seeing in surrounding urban districts is I see private schools and I'm seeing suburban schools taking our students of color out of the inner city schools and putting them in their schools. And they're promising their parents, hey, they're going to get this scholarship, but most of the time I don't see that. Am I wrong for making that comment? Because I mean, I can be kind of out there sometimes. I mean,
No.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Mhm.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong in that perspective, because it's the perspective of a lot of people,
Right.
and it's the truth.
Yeah.
It definitely happens, especially with AAU.
Mhm.
You create these super teams.
Mhm.
In IL sports, the IL isn't what it was
Yeah.
at one point in time, because now schools have come in, the suburban schools,
Mhm.
the private schools, they have come in to the IL and they've promised, certain things to the parents, and we move them.
Yeah.
It happens. But then also you have to look at, what is the IL doing?
Mm.
What is the IL doing to keep our kids here?
Yes, I'm glad you brought it back. Yeah.
When I look at the IL package and I look at the package of the suburban school, as a parent, my loyalty lies with my child.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best for my child? Is it IL or is it that suburban school? What am I going to do?
Right.
I'll probably move them to that suburban school. Whereas mine was different. I moved from the suburban school to the IL school.
Mm-hmm.
Now I moved to one of the top-notch schools in the IL, but that's where she's at and she's thriving. So you're able to thrive also.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, when we move our children, we sometimes take away their power to, empower themselves, become relentless, become resilient, get to the point where they have to fight through something. Granted, suburban schools, you have to fight through racism. You have to fight through, people think,
Classism,
right. People think you're entitled because you're there. And so when you come back to the IL, you're not as respected as, maybe if you had stayed in the IL. So you have to face those things as well. But, it's pros and cons.
See, that's the beauty of your business, though. Where a parent is like on the fence between a inner city school or a suburban school or a private school or a rural school. Your expertise can kind of help them fill in those gaps,
right,
and making the right decision.
Right.
So it's no hustle.
Right.
Like you made a good point. You moved your child from one situation to another, and we both know the situation.
Right.
And because of your expertise, your child is thriving in the event in the arena where she is now.
Right.
On what, 2 sports?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I've been seeing the videos. I'm like, yeah. I mean, the baby's banging.
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk about the name.
Okay.
Prospect Focus.
Right. Prospect focused. I mean, within itself, I wanted to focus on the prospect.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want it to be, something where I'm going to sell you a dream. I don't want to prepare you physically and you're not prepared. You're not book smart. You can't pass the ACT.
Right.
You can't meet the minimum requirements. We want to focus on the full child, the full spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So a parent comes to me and say, hey, my daughter is probably mid-major D1. She can't hit the ACT, or she's struggling in math. There are people on board to help, tutors on board to help with math.
Wow.
Tutors on board to help with the ACT and the SAT. So if you commit to the program as a whole, I commit to getting them in front of the college that they need to be seen. I'm not going to sell you a dream.
Yeah.
If your child is JUCO level, I'm not going to come to you and tell you, I can get them at UConn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sell that. And I'm not even going to present them to UConn, because that lessens my brand.
Yeah.
It lessens me as a coach. If I go to UConn with a subpar player and I tell them that, hey, they can play for you, they're not going to take my word on anyone that I bring to them.
Yeah.
So I can't lie to them. And so, my whole point is to focus on the prospect and to be, upstanding on both ends, as far as the colleges are concerned and as far as the recruits are concerned as well.
Now, you made a good point. You said that You brought up ACT testing. Um, that's very important because see, some kids think that they can just run a ball and they're in.
Right.
But you got to have that academic component too. I mean, I
Right.
like how you're focusing on the student part of the athlete as well. You got a comment on my other feed that
Okay.
I'm here. Let me look at this real quick. It says, "I see you. Amen. Spread the knowledge, share the knowledge, and build a united source of solid resources to help where needed."
Right. That's definitely what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's definitely what they're trying to do. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Type in KUAW, you'll be able to see us.
Plug that in.
As
Plug
I'm
that
still,
in.
yeah, I got to. Now, I mean, I'm just thinking about your business, Prospect Focus, and I'm thinking, man, what if this organization, what if this business, what if this brilliant concept? Because this is a one of a kind thing. This is like going in a room full of jelly beans and you see a candy bar. It's like, whoa,
Right. Give me the
what
chocolate.
is that?
Right.
You know, that's what I'm doing in my mind. Out of
Okay.
all the businesses that I've been going through, and of course, I respect and love every business that's been on here. Your business is by far the most unique. And I'm thinking, if this business was going on back when we were in school, imagine the difference it would have made. Because I know you played ball against some young ladies who, if this was going on, if your concept was going on, they would have been playing in college.
Right.
I know if I got onto it and I was running track, I mean, now, first of all, let me backpedal. Do you do more than one sport?
Right now, we're focusing on girls basketball.
Girls basketball.
However, we are going to pull in the track and the football aspect of it because my expertise is basketball.
Okay.
So I've brought on a coach. The strength and conditioning coach is also a football coach. So I don't want to sell anyone a product that I'm not an expert.
Gotcha.
So as we bring on different coaches, we'll add that element.
So as you're growing, you're bringing them. Okay.
Correct.
So it's safe to say, what if? Okay. So now, if this concept was going on back in the IL, back when IL was thriving, how many college athletes do you think would have been produced?
Just off my company alone?
Yep. Yeah. Back when IL was thriving, back when this brother was
I'm throwing,
dunking,
it
back when
might
I
be
was
a couple, few hundred.
Back when I was
I'm
doing my thing, hundreds.
I'm gonna throw it out there.
Yeah.
And be
It's being confident.
Yeah.
Because see, I'm thinking about all the athletes that I ran against. I'm thinking about the Allende Jones and the Lenzel Harrises and the Stephen Paces, and I know Lenzel's probably watching. The John Lewises who's played football, Kenya Morris's, Kamala Bradford, my stepsister, who played basketball, Jelon Whitaker, Dan Smith. All these names that you probably saw in the paper. I know it's so many. Your Larry Browns, your Gary Toombs, your Kevin Sorrells.
Right.
Mike Watson. Yeah,
Right.
Mike Watson. All these names that were homegrown here.
Mm-hmm.
And all different sports, Leonard Casey's, Buddy Hollins, Larry Dotson's, I'm looking at D1 schools.
Right.
Through your concept.
Right.
I'm not just saying that because I know you and I knew you from a couple lifetimes ago, but it's just like you said, you're preparing the child, you're preparing the student for the next level.
Right.
And how many of us can actually say that we had that?
Right. A lot of us didn't.
Right.
A lot of us know more about it now than we did, growing up, than our parents knew, at the time. A lot of us are first generation college athletes or first generation, to even attend college students,
I think
period.
everyone in this room is.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot of things that our parents did not know, but it's our responsibility to pass it on to, our children and pass it on to, someone else instead of having the crabs in the barrel mentality. Because I can easily take the product and just focus on my child.
Yeah.
But I felt like that's selfish.
Mm-hmm.
I see parents, single mothers on top of that, out at these games with their children, having no idea what the next step is.
Right.
They're focused on, their coach said X, Y, and Z. I don't see anyone within your program videotaping. How is that? How is a college scout, on the East Coast going to see your child?
Yeah.
Are they going to take the word of the coach? No, they don't do that anymore. But also the process, if you've ever, if you've played a sport or you watched a sport and you're sitting there wondering how this kid got on the team, like how did this kid even dress out? I know kids in the IL who can run circles around that kid. I guarantee that person has a backing that got that child's tape or got in that coach's ear about that kid. That's how that kid was able to get a scholarship. There are scholarships, that these colleges want to fill. They have no idea where to send them to. They got 10. They may have 6 available scholarships within their hometown. They're like, okay, I know for sure I want 2 of them. What I'm gonna do with these other 4?
So basically, every year there's money just sitting there that could have went somewhere.
Right. There's money's available.
Hence why kids can walk on and get a scholarship.
Exactly.
Now, like I said, I've looked on your Facebook page, and every time your daughter has an event, you are recording. And not only are you recording your daughter, you're actually recording the other kids too. Like, and not only is Nafisa rooting for her daughter, she's rooting for the other kids on the team too. So
I'm rooting for all the babies.
Exactly. I mean, that's one thing that's like very admirable. It's like now I do gotta laugh. I do gotta pull something up. One time you was filming, and your daughter was running in a 4x1, and I believe she was the anchor. And the sister came around the corner, third leg, passing your daughter the baton. Bam. Your daughter's coming around. And you yelling her name. I'm not gonna say your daughter's name on the air because it's not my place. I'll let you do that first. Right. And you're going, go, 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 go. And then someone got your camera. You say, move, move, go, 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 go. and the person in the camera was pointing. It was like real quick because you were not only were you like, working for your daughter, you were actually working for your daughter.
Right.
I mean, you were like on the clock.
And he just jumped right in. Like I had the whole race. Yeah. And she comes around that curve and it's the straightaway.
And the lean was clean too. I mean, baby girl got that. She got it. She leaned in and she had that kick. And as soon as she got that kick in, the guy popped in the view.
Then he just popped in.
She said, move. I'm like, move. And then the guy moved out of the way. But I mean, it's funny that we bring that up because, I mean, this is building the portfolio, not just for your daughter, but for the other young ladies on the relay team as well.
Right, right.
And if you actually follow Lincoln's basketball program, ladies basketball program in their track team, they have a core group of young ladies that are just phenomenal. I mean, I can't knock that.
Right. They're freshmen and sophomore.
And these are little mamas out there doing it. So, I mean, it's something to look at.
Right.
And like you said, backing. I mean, I remember there was a team of kids, and there was one little boy who wasn't as good as the other ones. The reason why he played, he had backing. That's simple.
Right. I mean, that's what our kids are lacking, is the backing and the knowledge.
Right.
Our parents are lacking the knowledge, to get them to the next level. So the intensity that I have for my daughter, I have that for all kids. It's evident in, as you can see on the taping. And on top of that, because I coach at Lincoln, because I coach the girls and I have this program, it's my responsibility as a coach to get them seen.
Right.
So on my website, prospectfocus.org, I have the girls on there. Their parents don't pay anything. So the highlights that I do for them, the training, the nutrition, they pay for nothing as long as I'm a coach at Lincoln. They pay for none of that. So because I feel like it's my responsibility to get them there, and they're my babies. I'm going to take care of my babies.
And it's also putting the responsibility of all coaches on notice because all coaches should be out there hustling for those kids too.
Exactly.
That's a great thing. Now I was meaning to talk to you about that too, about cost. What I mean, is it okay to talk to you about that right now? Or are you still in the? I'm
still in the working stages of that because I know the demographic that I'm dealing with.
Okay.
So I have different packages though.
Okay.
But I haven't associated a cost with them as of yet. But,
but as of right now, the packages are available.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's do this. Let's give them some contact info.
Okay.
And then we're gonna come back again and do it also. But I want everyone to know how to get in contact with you and to view your packages and give you information.
Okay. The website right now is up and running. It's www.prospectfocus.org. YouTube, Prospect Focus. Instagram, Prospect Focus. Facebook, Prospect Focus.
Real simple.
Real simple. If you can't find any of that information, look me up. Prospect Focus is probably easier than looking up my last name. But if you need it, it's Feesa Fadri, Feesa. Fadri is spelled Fajri. You can always give me a call, 816-984-9791, as long as it's about business.
As long as you got that, as long as it's about business. I don't have a call the Inkwell and say, Tyrone, we got some problems. Or call my phone tripping. Now,
Right.
the Inkwell got to come out. No, but yeah, I like how you said that. It's a business because people like to muddy the waters of business.
Right.
I'm glad you said that because people are apprehensive to post their personal information because you got some folk out there that got other intentions in mind.
Right.
But I'm glad you have actual documentation on this show that the phone number that was presented and all the other information that was presented is for business purposes only. If you choose to go the other way, we have documentation that the information is for business purposes only. Gotta protect my people.
Thank you.
Nafisa, I want to take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
I have a in studio guest that's going to give me a commercial break. Came all the way from Texas, and he bought the heat with him, so we can blame him.
Right.
But stay here. You're not going anywhere. Just take a little break, because
I'm breaking.
Yeah.
I'm breaking.
I'm gonna bring up old friend of mine, right there, Mr. Larry Brown.
What's happening, people?
And Larry's been watching Source of the Inkwell probably since it first came out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Way back.
I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that? You had a handshake?
Oh yeah. But that's just letting y'all know that soon the band's gonna be back together. So I'm, I'm gonna be respectful and go ahead and let you tell us why you're here briefly.
Okay. I'm here at the Inkwell. Great show. Also want to say congratulations to Miss Nafisa.
Thank you.
The prospect is great. But I'm here to let everybody know we're doing the Southwest reunion the weekend of July 20th. That will be Friday the 20th, Saturday the 21st. On that Friday, the meet and greet will be at Tomfoolery's on the Plaza. Starting time is 5 o'clock. There will be picture taking at the school in front of Southwest School. I want to say at noon, and then from there we will go to Soul Park. I forgot the shelter number.
On Saturday, right?
Saturday, yes,
Wow.
July 21st. And the Southwest Alumni Black versus Orange game is taking place at Southeast Community Center. And everything that weekend is free. It's already paid for. Me and a couple of other classmates have paid for everything. So you can come out, bring your families, tell all your old Southwest buddies, come out and hang with us. We got a couple of well-known Southwest athletes coming to play in the basketball game. So just come out and have a great time. It's just bring the love. It's just time to bring that good old Southwest love back.
And you still got me doing the
Yes. Tyrone will be commentating the basketball game. Oh, also, I have DJ Fresh. He will be on the ones and twos during the game. So, and I have some of the old. I don't want to give everything away. And that's if they still do it. I haven't heard anything different, but I have some of the old Southwest cheerleaders as well. That's going to be there doing some cheers. Yes.
They still got
Yeah,
the
some of them
uniforms?
still in shape.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
still
they
in
are.
shape. I told them they ain't got to do no splits and
Why
no
not?
somersaults and nothing now. So.
He said, why not?
I may not go.
I don't have we ain't got no shoes over there. Yeah, but it's going to be a great weekend celebration to see a good time to see everybody. 20 years. How many of us can say we've made it 20 years out of high school and still here?
And successful.
Still thriving. Yes. It's very successful.
Yeah.
We have kids. We can tell our kids about things we went through in high school, same things they're going through. Like my daughter, she plays basketball, and I like Nafisa, I can tell her about things that happened when I was in high school, what to look for, what to do, what don't to do, you know what I'm saying? But it's all love. I'm ready. I'm excited for that weekend because I haven't seen some of my fellow Southwest Indians in so long. And I tell my daughter, cherish your high school years. Those 4 years are the best years of your life because I know they were for me. So.
Of course, yeah. And like I said, like you said, first I want to thank you for doing this because I know typically they try to put it on the former student council president, but I'm so busy doing everything. My man stepped up and said, I got this.
Yeah.
And got a call coming in. So we're saying that what I want to do is possibly do a live broadcast from the class reunion.
Okay. We can do it either that Friday at Tomfoolery's because we'll be there from 5 until whenever we leave, or You can do it from the game. Well, I know you'll be doing the commentating.
I can still do it the game. Yep. I can do
You're
both.
more than welcome.
We got a call?
Yes, you have Lamont McIntyre on line 1.
Lamont McIntyre. How you doing, Lamont?
I'm all right. Now, how you doing?
Doing all right. We put on these earphones so I can hear you. Okay. You got a question for us?
Yeah. My question is, what's more important, finance, taking care of your family for this moment or for the next? Like, because we don't understand, right now what we're supposed to be doing is working for the generations after us. That's why most of us is born into poverty and born into a situation that's not really successful for us, right? Because we don't think about the generation after us. We're thinking about the moment. So I think it's very important for people to understand that even when the Bible was speaking about, when Solomon was talking about working for the generation after him, he said he said it was basically in vain, but it's not really in vain because that's what we're doing. We're setting up the lives for our sons and our daughters, kids and their kids. So I think it's important for us to understand that it's not about what we're doing for this moment, but what we're doing for generations after we're gone.
Right. As far as entrepreneurship and establishing businesses in our communities. Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that insight. Thank you.
All right,
man. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Definitely a great point was made, and I'm glad that Brother Lamont said that because in regards to the entrepreneurship that we're talking about, in regards to the comment that you made, Larry, in regards to teaching your children about, it's all about building upon a legacy.
Yes.
And what better legacy than at a class reunion where you have entrepreneurs and people who are actually making a name not for themselves, but just for their families too.
Yes.
So yeah, thanks, Lamont, for that insight. But give the dates again for the reunion.
The reunion will be Friday, July 20th, 5 p.m. until at Tomfooleries on the plaza right there on the corner. I want to say that's 49th. Well, everybody knows what it is.
It's on World Parkway.
No, it's on World Parkway?
Yeah.
It's on World Parkway Street, but everybody knows in the plaza. It's upstairs, the pickle room. Like I said, it starts at 5 o'clock until Saturday morning, the 21st. We're going to gather in front of Southwest High School. We're going to take a big class picture, and from there, we're going to go to Southeast Community Center where some of the classmates will already be on the grill. We can have a good time, mingle some more. Basketball game starts at 3 o'clock, and it goes from 3 to 5. Once again, DJ Fresh will be on the ones and twos, and your host, truly, Tyrone, will be the commentator. So we want to have everybody come out. I'll drop a couple of names that we already have committed.
Okay.
Stephen Green is already committed. Fred Gordon is already committed.
Freddie's?
Yeah.
You found Freddie.
Fred Gordon is committed.
Freddie! Love your burgers.
Yeah, he's committed. Mark Franklin has committed, but Mark, yes. He's actually the freshman coach at Hickman Mills High School.
Is he?
Talk to him.
Okay.
I got a hold of he got a hold of Gary Toombs. Gary Toombs is coming back to play.
You found Gary Toombs. My old
I didn't
cousin.
find him. He found him.
Family.
Under the rock. So
Family.
Then we have some who attended Southwest. They were juniors when it closed. We have Bobbyville, Erica Anderson is coming back.
Okay.
Alan Bird is playing. Myself. It's a couple of more, like I said. We have a couple of slots. And I want to say this. The alumni weekend, class of 98 is presenting it, but it's for all of Southwest. If you went there from when it opened to close, we don't discriminate. We welcome everybody.
Yes.
Everybody. Like I said, it's just put on by class of 98. I want to see a lot of my class of 98 people to come out. Really. I really do. But it's for everybody.
And it's very fitting you wore black, white, and red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to wear the Southwest attire. I'm going to wear it there because they think the pictures where I was at the school taking pictures. But yeah. And I rep my school to the fullest.
Of course.
But I love my school. I love my classmates. I just, especially with everything going on in the world, our young boys are dying here. They could have been my son, could have been her son, could have been your son. But I just want to spread love and wrap our arms around everybody while we can, because you never know what's going to happen. Right. So, and I was like, I want to do it myself.
Gotcha. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
Appreciate that.
Anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And matter of fact, Miss Nafisa, do you have business cards? Because what I can do when I go back home, like I said, I'm in the schools with my daughter. I can pass out flyers,
I
business
don't have
cards.
them yet. They're on their
Okay.
way next week.
We'll sing you some.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
No doubt. No doubt.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, great segue because we're still talking about high school. We're talking about sports. Back to Nafisa.
Mhm.
Prospect
Focused
focused
recruiting.
recruiting.
Yes.
Yes. Entrepreneurship. Black woman entrepreneurship. I'm saying something in the same sentence that we commonly don't hear. I'm gonna say something else. Black woman entrepreneurship sports. You are breaking so many boundaries
Owner.
doing what you're doing.
Owner.
Yeah. You're breaking so many boundaries. So, what is the importance of being, and I mean, and people get on me and say, well, why y'all gotta say woman? Why y'all gotta say black? Why? Because I have to. Because in this society right now, people hold you back based on being woman, based on being black, based on being male, based on being minority, based on being immigrant, based on being whatever I am. You know, Gathers. I'm being held back for my last name, you know. So people get held back for some of the silliest and craziest reasons. That's why I'm going to point out what I see.
Right.
So what is the importance of a black woman owning her own business?
The importance is that, you know, I have a daughter.
Mm.
I have a daughter that looks up to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a daughter that I'm molding into being some, you know, a woman of valor, you know, a woman that's courageous and not afraid to step out and do the unknown. Granted, I know a lot of women who are in business.
Mm-hmm.
However, I believe that we have to start, you know, busting the ceiling open, you know, where we get to the point where you don't have to preface it by saying woman.
Right.
You don't have to preface it by saying black.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can just be a business owner.
Exactly.
You know, you see me as a reputable person within the business without having to put the description on there or preface it by anything.
Yeah.
You know, so that's very important
Mm-hmm.
in our society.
Can I say something? And it's also very important for our young black women to see somebody from where they're from.
Exactly.
Oh, she did it. I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They don't have to see somebody, oh, this person's from New York, Los Angeles, or another
Mhm.
famous family.
Yeah.
We have somebody here, homegrown,
Mm-hmm.
that they can see visibly, oh, she made it out. I can go talk to her. How did she do it? I can do
Exactly.
the same thing she did in a positive way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mhm.
We need
Right.
more positive images, not just black women, just black people, period.
Exactly. And see, that's one thing too. Seeing someone who looks like me,
Yes.
telling me how to make it.
Yes.
See, we do a lot of things based off what someone else tells us. You know, like for example, I tell my students all the time, I'm like, look, man, you know, fire is hot. I'm telling you fire is hot, so you don't got to touch it.
Mhm.
However, someone else is telling you it's okay to touch it just a little bit, and you do it,
Mhm.
but you can't handle the burns. I think it's important to have someone in your position representing, just like Larry said, it's opening up the door for more young ladies, not just young ladies, young men,
Yeah.
you know, and eventually to where it's like, hey, you know, it's not black, it's not white, it's just business. And that's how it should be.
Mhm.
However, how it is right now, we got to celebrate what we have in front of us.
Yes.
Exactly.
And this is a beautiful thing right
Yes.
Exactly.
here. Beautiful concept. Let's talk about recruitment with your company. Are you just in one area or are you in multiple areas as far as like the map goes?
The map, as far as the map is concerned, right now I'm focusing on the Midwest. The reasoning behind that, I felt as though the Midwest gets overlooked in, you know, a lot of things. Girls sports get overlooked, you know, broad.
Right.
However, the
Yeah.
overall sport arena, the Midwest gets overlooked. You know, we're not seen in the East Coast unless you go to the East Coast.
Mm.
You know, the East Coast is a big basketball, you know, thing. Down South is huge in basketball, but it's also huge in football
Mm-hmm.
as well. So the Midwest gets overlooked a lot. So I felt as though, hey, if our kids can't go to the East Coast or down South, our videos can.
Mm.
You know, the contacts that I make as far as the coaches are concerned, they can get them out there. You know, my daughter travels a lot.
Right.
to the East Coast, things of that nature. But the contacts that I've made for her, as far as just getting, because of course she was my guinea pig at first to see if this thing can work. And so I started, I put her film together, started making contacts, and the amount of support and the amount of coaches that actually contacted me back and the things that we have scheduled right now for her come August is like overwhelming. I'm putting together a schedule and I'm just like, I can't really keep this information to myself, especially when I see other kids who need it.
Hey.
So I was shown the information. I had the bright idea. God gave me the vision. So I'm going to pass it on to those that I know need it. And so that's what I'm doing.
And like people say, it's so good, I gotta keep it to myself. No, if it's good, you gotta share that.
No, share it. God's gonna bless you.
You got to.
Regardless.
You got to share the good.
Right. You got to share that thing.
Because if you don't, then you become one of them pimps and hustlers we talked about earlier.
Exactly.
But you got to share the good. And I'm glad that you're doing that because you're starting here in the Midwest because the Midwest needs that representation.
Right.
We need someone to polish us up, to put us out there on these big playing fields because just like you said, basketball is we only have like one real big basketball powerhouse here, and that's KU. MU every now and then, she looked at me like, hold on. Did I say a bad word when I said KU?
No. We can be honest. We
right.
can be honest.
We are being honest because and then also I'll take it a step further when it comes to our kids in this area, and I know firsthand because I used to work with College Access that some D1 schools around this area don't fool with a lot of kids who look like us that are from this area where this building is. They will flat out tell you,
right,
because you are from blah 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 blah.
You are correct.
Or because you're from blah 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 blah. These kids, we can't have your kids hold your kids here for this event. So a lot of that's going on. That's why people ask me how come I don't fool with certain schools, and it's not because I'm like sports thing. No, I'm revolutionary. I go beyond sports.
Right.
So I'm glad that's going on because hey, if you won't have me, I'll take my business elsewhere where I'm more marketable.
Somebody will.
Yeah.
Right.
And and I'm so glad that Miss my sister came in here because she has children that play sports too, and your business is definitely needed because our parents need that prime representation. Because, like, let's say, for example, if a parent knows that their kid can go to UConn, okay, by far, my favorite school as far as basketball, UConn and Duke, not plugging anybody. I love you too. But anyway, if I know that my
no comment.
My man, like, what? Tag team's broken up. if I know that my kid can get to UConn, all right, but I don't know how to get them there, that's the problem,
Right.
And your organization is going to put that how in that gas tank to get us there.
Right.
So I got another question to ask you too.
Okay.
Let's see. When it comes to the recruiting process, doing what you're doing, do you foresee or have you seen yourself bumping heads with the active coaching staff of the child? For example, if this man's daughter coaching staff for AAU team has something set in their mind, but Mr. Brown is trusting you to do something, how do you deal with the conflict with that? It's gonna pop up.
It happens.
Yeah.
The thing about when you have a child that plays sports, every parent thinks their child is like right.
Is the one.
Your child is like the next coming.
My parents didn't think that.
Stop
it. Man been playing, basketball since he was 3.
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing him, he was hitting them hoops on the little tight goal ever since. And now he's, a freshman. He should be starting, he should be starting varsity at this, The thing about it is you have to be realistic.
Yes.
As far as my child is concerned, bumping heads, of course. I bump heads because, I'm evaluating everybody that's out there. And I'm comparing my kid to that. And I know that in a lot of these programs, school and AAU, there's a lot of politics
Oh yes.
that goes with it. I'm not a
Yes.
politics
Check
deep.
cash.
And then as a coach, I know that you have certain responsibilities to every child
Mhm.
on that team, not just those starting five, not just that parent that you know personally, not just the one that's putting a little extra in your pocket. You have a responsibility to all those kids.
Mhm.
And because I'm able to evaluate that part of it, I've bumped heads.
Yeah.
You know, I don't bite my tongue as many people that know me. I don't, I'm gonna do it respectfully.
Mhm.
You may not like it, but I'm gonna do it respectfully. And then I'm gonna fall back and see what you do. But on the other hand, I also talk to my daughter. I point out, you're not doing this right.
Mhm.
You're not doing that right. You need to do this. You need to work on that. I talk to
Mhm.
my son about what he needs to do, and we go from there, and if it requires switching teams, we've done that as well. But not set at one game and I left. You get time. You've gotten some years with,
Right.
whatever. So we went that route too. It happens. Everybody's not a good fit.
Right.
You have to find the fit as far as trainers, coaches are concerned. You have to find the fit, and that's important.
I'm glad you said the key word was fit, because you said trainers, coaches, the academic part. You're providing something that other teams, that actual teams don't provide or can't provide.
Right.
And it's not that we should work against each other. We should work together for the benefit of the student. Of course, the bumping of the heads is going to take place because the parent is entrusting you to help them get their child to another level.
Right.
And we have another message here. It says, an organization that provides the driving force. Students need the will and the parents, along with their coaches, working together. So they just adding on to what you just got through saying. So what you're doing is like bacon on a cheeseburger. It's making it taste a whole lot better.
Yeah,
Although I don't eat pork, but I mean I know
bacon makes everything taste better.
Put a little fried egg on it too. Yeah.
Hey man. Done. Let's see. We have any messages over here on the message board for Project Focused?
I got some people listening, but no.
Okay. No message. But hey, you know what? They're listening and they watching. So I mean, it's obvious we got someone listening on the YouTube channel. We have people listening in on Facebook. We also have people listening in on KUAW.org and also on the TuneIn now. So keep listening in.
Thank you.
Because the more and more you listen, the more the message gets out. We still got some time left over. I want to have a little fun. All right.
Here we go.
You don't mind, do you?
No, I don't mind at all.
Okay. I'm not going to put you on blast for the other thing we talk about.
Okay.
But there's one thing I do want to say though. Okay. I mean, the Inkwell likes having you up in here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Chantel's calling.
I'm not going to answer that.
Tell him we said hello. Didn't mean to bust him out, but I ain't seen him in a while either. The Inkwell enjoys having you here.
Okay.
I would like
enjoy
to
being here.
Oh, of course. We would definitely like to have you here more.
Okay.
And also, there is some other opportunities that I want to get your concept out more to kind of attract more people.
Okay.
So I do some recorded shows, and maybe you can throw those into your portfolio as your presentation piece to parents. This
Most
is a radio
definitely.
interview. This is an interview that I have with this person or that person. I want to actually sit you down with a couple of pro athletes. There's one of them I have in mind that's an actual former WNBA basketball player that was on the show before. I definitely want to sit you down in front of her.
Okay.
And discuss the concept. So I want to give you more FaceTime with this.
Okay.
You okay with that?
Definitely.
Definitely down with that?
Down with that.
Perfect. Now, let's talk about this situation. I got a scenario. Okay. This man has a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She has an outstanding portfolio. And there's a school sitting right here. How do you present this athlete to this tier school this child wants?
First and foremost, I have to come out and watch the game. Or if he has a full game, I just don't want to see his highlights.
Okay.
I need to see the full game.
Mm.
Send me a couple games. Let my team sit down and evaluate it.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the school is concerned, then I'll take my expertise and the expertise of the other coaches that we have and see, can they play on this level? Do you think they can play on this level? I'm going to evaluate that school. see what type of coaching curriculum they have.
Mhm.
See, I mean, because if she's just if she's a run and gun type, you know, she works well within that offense, she wouldn't be good at UConn because UConn does set offenses.
They do, yeah.
You know, so you have to evaluate and see where that's at. At that point in time, then I will put together a highlight package
Ooh.
as far as the school she wants to go to.
Mhm.
I'm gonna send it to her top 5. That school will be on it if I feel as though that school, you know, if she's good for that school. Like I said before, if she's mid-major, if she's high mid-major, yeah, you know, you can go to a UConn. They may be able to fit, but if you D3 level, I'm not going to send it to UConn.
Right.
You know, but
Mhm.
you know, this is the most realistic program you're going to get. We're going to be honest with you because there's a lot of people out here that some kids' dreams
Mhm.
or whatever. I'm not a dream seller. You know, I'm a realist.
Integrity, because
Mhm.
there's a lack of integrity right now in sports.
Exactly.
Definitely. Definitely.
Exactly. And we can talk about some pro level things that went on too, but we don't have that much time. That'll be another time for another show. But Nafisa, before we close, I do want you to give your closing info again.
prospectfocus.org. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all Prospect Focus. My information, my telephone number is 816-984-9791. Give me a call if you just need more information about it. I answer my phone 24/7. Don't call me after 9, so I shouldn't have said 24/7. But, you know, call me at a decent hour and I'll discuss it with you. No problems at all.
Business line only on that
Our
phone.
business hours,
Business.
like Big Red, 9 to 5.
Business hours. And Larry, if you don't mind telling the dates for the class reunion again.
Yes, Southwest High School Alumni Reunion Weekend. I'm not just going to call it a class reunion. Alumni Weekend Reunion, Friday, July 20th through the 22nd. Friday, again, will be at Tomfoolery's on the Plaza off of Ward Parkway and I believe J.C. Nichols.
Mhm.
The basketball game, Alumni Black versus Orange basketball game, 3 o'clock to 5 p.m. at the Southeast Community Center. DJ Fresh will be on the 1s and 2s. And prior to that, we will be outside. I forgot the shelter number. I will get with my guy, Justin Chavis, and I know you all will get with it. Shout out to Tatisha Stewart and Tanisha Briggs. They've been really helping me out. And Nate Johnson, too, with the whole Alumni Weekend reunion.
All right, cool. Shout out to them. Love all of them. Well, yeah, Nate, you too. Got mad love for all of them, man. I mean, all good people that you shouted out, man. I mean, seriously, you got a heck of a committee going on right there. And any way I can help out, like I said,
No doubt.
we're there. I'm going to close with this one little piece. Way to go as power in networking. This concept that you have will be a safety net for parents and students because it builds integrity when it deals with our kids.
Yes.
Because when it deals with our children succeeding and exceeding to the next level, we got to be open, we got to be honest, and most of all, we got to be there. I'm Tyrone Gathers Jr. This is the Source of the Inkwell. And remember, in the inkwell, education flows. And when it flows, go ahead and let it overflow. And when it spreads, ink tends to get permanent. Let that education be permanent stick. God bless. See you next week.